Welcome to Endless Chapters. Please like this video and subscribe to the Endless Chapters channel. We are truly grateful for each and every one of you. Let us know where you're watching from around the world. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Now, let's get started. In every human life, existence is the most sacred gift. But sometimes, the greatest gifts are given when someone's life is about to come to an end. These are not just stories of miraculous organ transplants or medical marvels, but journeys of compassion, sharing, and faith in the enduring value of humanity. Among countless stories of organ donation, there is one that stands out and is forever remembered. The story of Mr. Toei, an ordinary man who, through his journey, sowed seeds of hope for lives teetering on the brink of existence. This story isn't just about the good fortune of one person being reborn. It's about a journey that extends love across generations and communities. From this, a flame of compassion was ignited, spreading beyond boundaries of geography, culture, and traditional beliefs. A transparent process. A panel of specialists is formed to select the most suitable recipient based on criteria such as blood type, immune compatibility, age, and underlying conditions. The system scores patients using input data, selecting the recipient with the highest match. If the top candidate is not chosen, the doctor must provide a justification before the system allows selection of the next in line. Every action is logged, ensuring traceability. This minimizes potential abuse in organ donation and transplantation, such as illegal organ sales, and allows for greater oversight. The less human intervention there is, the more transparent and objective the process becomes. By utilizing organs from brain-dead donors, thousands of patients suffering from organ failure could have a chance to be reborn. A life reclaimed. In July 2020, Mr. Toei was diagnosed with severe pulmonary fibrosis, with only 2 to 3 months left to live. Doctors guided him to register for a lung transplant program, his only chance at survival, placing him on a waiting list with more than 20 others. Returning to his hometown in Tanhoa, he held little hope. But 2 months later, the family of a 31-year-old man who had suffered brain death in a traffic accident agreed to donate his organs. After numerous tests, Mr. Toei was found to be the most compatible match for the donor. Beyond lungs, the donor's family also agreed to donate his heart, liver, kidneys, and both forearms, saving 6 lives hovering on the edge of death. "I always feel incredibly lucky to have received this gift," Mr. Toei said. Since recovering, he often expressed his desire to meet the donor's family to personally thank them. A change of heart. 3 days earlier, at the emergency department of Viet Duc Hospital in Hanoi, the younger brother of the brain-dead man had resolutely refused a suggestion by Ms. Dao, head of the Organ Donation Coordination Unit, to donate his brother's organs. "No, I won't let him," he insisted, determined to let his 30-year-old brother leave this world whole. With over 10 years of experience advocating for organ donation, Ms. Dao wasn't surprised. "I'm used to rejection," she said. Hearing about the potential donor from the intensive care team, she approached the family. Starting with small talk and support for administrative tasks, she gently broached the topic of organ donation only after they had calmed down. Despite her efforts, the family initially refused. "I understood. For most Vietnamese people, ensuring their loved ones leave this world whole is deeply ingrained," she explained. At 1 a.m. the following morning, the family called Ms. Dao for help. On their way home to Bac Ninh, they realized they had left a piece of the deceased's fractured skull at the tissue bank. Returning to the hospital, they were denied retrieval due to missing paperwork. Without hesitation, Ms. Dao drove nearly 20 kilometers from Gia Lam to Viet Duc Hospital to sign off on the paperwork. "I only thought about helping them fulfill their wish," she said, unaware that her actions would change their minds. Later that morning, the family called again, informing her of their decision. "We've decided to donate his organs." The ambulance reversed course back to Hanoi. A day later, the donor's heart, lungs, liver, and kidneys were given new life in 4 others. The hardest part of this job is helping families accept the reality of brain death and the loss of their loved one, Ms. Dao shared. A new chapter. For years after his lung transplant, Mr. Toei returned to a normal life. Every morning, He wakes up and feels the breath of life, a precious gift he deeply treasures. His family constantly reminds one another to live with kindness, not only to honor the donor, but also to spread the spirit of sharing. One early summer day, he decided to pursue something he had long yearned for, meeting the donor's family to express his gratitude. Although the law prohibits disclosing donor information, he hoped a meeting could be arranged through the Organ Donation Coordination Unit. With the support of Ms. Dow, who had coordinated his transplant, Mr. Toei wrote a heartfelt letter to the donor's family. In it, he described his new life and expressed his profound gratitude. "I don't know his name, but I consider him a part of my life. Thanks to him, I've been able to stay with my family and watch my grandchildren grow. I just want to send my deepest thanks to his family and hope to meet them someday." 2 months later, an emotional meeting took place at the donor's family home in Hanam. The young man's parents couldn't hold back tears as they met Mr. Toei, who now carried a part of their son's life. "We're heartbroken over losing our son, but seeing you healthy like this gives us comfort. It feels like our son is still living in another way," the mother said, her voice choked with emotion. From that meeting, the two families grew close, treating each other like kin. Mr. Toei frequently visited the donor's family during holidays, bringing small but meaningful gifts. "It's not just gratitude, it's my responsibility for the gift their son gave," he said, spreading the message. Together with Ms. Dow, Mr. Toei participated in numerous campaigns advocating for organ donation. They shared their story at workshops and in the media, encouraging others to embrace the idea of organ donation. Gradually, their message spread, helping to change societal perceptions. In the years that followed, the number of people registering as organ donors increased significantly. Modern technology improved the transparency and efficiency of transplant procedures, giving more lives a second chance. For Mr. Toei, each breath is a reminder of his fortune and responsibility. He firmly believes that while life may be fleeting, humanity and compassion will always endure. A lasting legacy. As time passed, Mr. Toei became a living symbol of the power of kindness and the profound meaning of organ donation. Beyond workshops, he worked with Ms. Dow to establish a fund called Breath of Life to support families struggling financially while awaiting transplants. The Breath of Life Fund quickly garnered widespread support. Inspired by Mr. Toei's story, people participated in fundraisers, charity auctions, and online campaigns, creating a ripple effect of generosity. One notable milestone was the annual Day of Life, event held each July to honor organ donors and raise awareness about organ donation. Standing before hundreds of people, Mr. Toei often shared his story, his voice trembling with emotion. "Each of us has the chance to be part of a miracle. Don't fear organ donation. What we leave behind can help others continue to live and love," he said, clutching a handkerchief embroidered with the words, "Thank you." A life of meaning. Beyond caring for his family, Mr. Toei became a guardian for Lon, an orphan girl whose father received a kidney transplant through the fund. Raised in the loving care of Mr. Toei and his wife, Lon grew up with opportunities for education and love, calling him Grandpa. "You've taught me the value of life and gratitude," Lon often said. Changing perceptions. Thanks to relentless efforts, the organ donation movement gained acceptance. Families who once refused to donate began to change their minds after hearing Mr. Toei's story. Even in rural areas with traditional beliefs, the movement began to take root. Ms. Dow, who coordinated Mr. Toei's transplant, was invited to international conferences to share Vietnam's experiences. "I once thought this path would be too hard, but now I see hope everywhere. Organ donation doesn't just save lives, it spreads love," she said with pride. An unexpected connection. At a gratitude ceremony, a middle-aged man stepped onto the stage and embraced Mr. Toei tightly. He was the brother of a patient who had received a kidney from the same donor years ago. "We both carry a part of the life gifted by someone who has passed, and I believe that makes us brothers in the same family," the man said. Together, they decided to embark on a new project, establishing a counseling and organ donation coordination center in central Vietnam, where organ donor registration rates remained low. The journey never ends. Even in his later years, Mr. Toei never stopped working. He often said that his life was not his alone, but a shared responsibility for those who had trusted and given him a second chance. In his final moments, he smiled, held the hands of his children and grandchildren, and said, "Keep spreading this message so that life never stops." After his passing, his family honored his last wish to donate whatever organs could still be used to save others. His story concluded with a beautiful ending, but also opened a new chapter, where life continued to flourish and compassion spread endlessly. Following Mr. Toei's death and his organ donation, his story became a national symbol of kindness and selflessness. His donated organs saved 3 lives. A middle-aged man received a liver, a young woman received a kidney, and a teenager gained sight through a corneal transplant. A legacy in words. Mr. Toei's family decided to create a book titled Breath of Life to chronicle his journey. From the day he discovered his illness, received a life-saving organ transplant, to the meaningful years he lived afterward. The book was not only a tribute to Mr. Toei, but also a valuable resource for raising awareness about organ donation, spreading the spirit of donation globally. Mr. Toei's story caught the attention of international media and was widely reported. The World Health Organization, WHO, invited his family and Ms. Dow to participate in the global conference on organ donation and transplantation in Geneva. At the conference, his story moved thousands of attendees and inspired countries struggling to promote organ donation. Vietnam has shown the world that life can be sustained not just through technology, but through humanity, a WHO representative said during the event. A new generation steps up. Mr. Toei's story did not end with his generation. It deeply inspired the younger generation. His granddaughter, Lon, the orphan he had adopted years ago, grew up to become a transplant specialist. Carrying her grandfather's legacy as a guiding light, she said, "Grandpa taught me that each of us has the power to create miracles, even with the smallest actions. I will dedicate my life to helping others continue to live." A global organization in his name. In the years that followed, the Breath of Life Foundation evolved into a global, non-governmental organization, operating not just in Vietnam, but also in developing countries where organ donation remains uncommon. The organization provides financial assistance, trains medical personnel, and raises community awareness about organ donation. Mr. Toei's legacy lives on, proving that a single life can spark a ripple effect of hope, compassion, and renewed chances at life for countless others. An unexpected connection. At a gratitude ceremony, a middle-aged man walked onto the stage and embraced Mr. Toei tightly. He was the brother of a patient who had received a kidney from the same donor years ago. "We both carry a part of the life gifted by someone who has passed, and I believe that makes us brothers in the same family," the man said. Together, they decided to embark on a new project, establishing a counseling and organ donation coordination center in central Vietnam, where organ donor registration rates remained low. The journey never ends. Even in his later years, Mr. Toei never stopped working. He often said that his life was not his alone, but a shared responsibility for those who had trusted and given him a second chance. In his final moments, he smiled, held the hands of his children and grandchildren, and said, "Keep spreading this message so that life never stops." After his passing, his family honored his last wish to donate whatever organs could still be used to save others. His story concluded with a beautiful ending, but also opened a new chapter, where life continued to flourish and compassion spread endlessly. At the headquarters of the organization in Hanoi, a small statue of Mr. Toei, smiling with his hand over his heart, is proudly displayed in the main hall. Below it is an inscription: "Life never stops, love always continues." A legacy that endures. Years after Mr. Toei's passing, Vietnam became one of the leading countries in the region for organ donation and transplantation. Stories like his are now taught in schools as lessons on kindness and selflessness. In his hometown of Thanh Hoa, where he once lived, a specialized hospital for organ transplants was built and named Breath of Life Hospital, Toei Pham. During the grand opening, his family, Ms. Dow, and thousands of transplant recipients attended the event. Ms. Dow, now in her 60s, gave an emotional speech. Mr. Toei may have passed, but he left behind a flame that burns brightly. We are all keeping that flame alive, ensuring that life continues to be reborn. A full circle of life. Years later, one of the recipients of Mr. Toei's corneas, a teenage boy at the time, grew up to become an ophthalmologist. At an event called Life Day, he shared his thoughts. "Every time I see the light, I think of Mr. Toei. Without him, I wouldn't have had the chance to become a doctor, to see my parents, friends, or patients. I will live my life to honor his legacy." Mr. Toei's story is not just the story of one man, but of an entire community where life is given and endlessly passed on. What do you think about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for reading.